Alright, we're back. Know what happened as soon as we started this race. We got one lap in, and unfortunately, it glitched out on us. We hit a curb and we DNF'd. So, it was luckily only lap 1. So we were going to restart this race. It was with the AI that was in front of me that I could miss. If it was something like that, then I would understand that it was, you know, just it happened, you know, whatever. Wasn't going to restart it. If anything, we would have just rolled right into Chicagoland. But we are going to restart this race. Unfortunately, I went through quick qualifying. We did session qualifying before. We were 4th in round 1, and we actually qualified on the pole. I could not do that again. I kind of slipped up in that final right-handed U-turn at the end of the track, kind of overran it a little bit. We qualified 2nd. But I'm going to state the fact that we did qualify on the pole. First pole of the year for Ryan Blaney. We're technically on the front row. We'll just say we picked the right lane on the restart instead of the left lane. So Ryan Newman actually still on the front row too, so that's kind of a coincidence. So nothing changed there. I think the only thing that changed, Chase Elliott qualified 3rd before, and I didn't see him in the top 5, so I don't know where he qualified exactly. But yeah, we're gonna hop right on into this. Call 48, welcome back, and let's get on into this race. Yeah, I don't know where Chase Elliott qualified. It looked like he was back there around 10th. So it looks like Bobby Carter will be starting at the rear of the field here, not Matt Kenseth or Ross Chastain. And Matt Kenseth doesn't look like he'll be fast for today's race either. So we're about to hop on into this one, take 2. And if that happens again, I don't know if I can trust myself going lap after lap through that same corner. But we'll see what will happen here. Green flag in the air at Sonoma, 25 laps in stage 1. And we'll try this again. Who's going to make it into the first turn? Uphill through the S-Sys, still side by side for the lead. A little bit of contact between Ryan Newman and Ryan Blaney. Blaney trying to hold strong on that outside lane from the restart. They're still side by side. Now he's got the preferred lane here. Off the curbing, a little bit of a slip. They're still side by side for the lead. And Blaney beats Newman to 3rd gear to take away the race lead from the pole. That was a pretty intense initial start of the race there with Ryan Newman. 6 cars showing speed early. Blaney, big hop off the curb there through the hairpin, trying to get away. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. quickly up to 3rd place. Daniel Suarez 4th. Eric Almirola, half a lap into the race, rounds out the top 5. So Ryan Blaney should be able to lead lap 1, assuming that these final couple corners go his way from the pole. 25 laps in this first stage. It's not long. Nobody is going to have to make a pit stop in the first stage as well. Blaney came really close to the wall. I don't think he hit it, though. Maybe got back to the gas a little too soon. It could have been perfect, though, running that wide at the same time. But he didn't have much room for error. Race car still a little on the tight side. Blaney out to about a 1-second lead on Newman immediately. Only a lap and a half in. Joey Logano's jumped into the top 5. Eric Almirola up to 4th. Daniel Suarez has fallen outside of the top 5 after the first lap of the race. So hard to pass on the road courses. You saw the battle for the clean air immediately on that initial start between Ryan Newman and Ryan Blaney. It was a hard-fought battle by both. Blaney, after a half a lap, was able to get to the lead. We've seen some really good and classic road course races on the channel, especially with this game. We had one at Mid-Ohio last week for the Xfinity Series, the last lap pass for the win there. Remember Sonoma, the one time we ran there for our Chase for 8 with Jimmy Johnson's season here on NASCAR Heat 5. It came down to overtime and a photo finish. So we have seen some good races here at Sonoma and in road courses on this game. I'm sure we're going to have another one here today. Blaney off to a good start, leading the first couple laps. Have to wait to see if cautions might play into effect as well, perhaps throughout the course of this race. So no pit stops here. There will be pit stops at the stage break. We'll see if anybody might try to short pit as well. You don't have to worry about going a lap down as long as you're 40 seconds away from, you know, or within 40 seconds of the leader. You can pit and not lose a lap here. So keep that in mind also. If any damage might happen to these leaders, you might see them hit pit road if something goes wrong. Ryan Newman trying to keep pace on this season. Not really known for being a great road course racer, but let me tell you, he's hanging on strong in the early going of this race. How hard he drove it in, trying to gain time on Blaney through that right-handed U-turn. Blaney got into the wall a little bit. That time, it wasn't like lap 1 where he got close to it. That time, he kind of clipped it. Newman really closed the gap at the end of that last lap. Only 22 to go in this stage. Again, these first 2 stages are going to fly by today. Only 50 laps total between both stages. You don't usually see that in the Cup Series, but because the road courses don't have as many laps due to the amount of time it takes to get around the racetrack, it's not going to be a long start to this race. Ricky Stenhouse still within 2 seconds back in third. Almirola's trying to close in on him a little bit. Logano's still in fifth, but he's about 5 seconds off the lead. Great corner there. The exit of the carousel for Blaney. Just kind of hitting his marks early. A little wide through the hairpin. He'll be able to get back to the gas pretty well, though, even with that wider entry. Fastest of the first 4 laps completed so far for Ryan Blaney that last lap. And it was just 1/1000th of a second faster than what he ran in qualifying when he qualified on the pole. So that is the kind of pace Ryan Blaney is setting in the early going of this one. Getting really sideways off the curbing there. Able to keep it on the racetrack, but Newman started gaining on him, but then Newman kind of overran the entrance to the carousel area of the racetrack. The middle portion of the track as well, the newly added portion of the racetrack, or reconfigured I should say. Newman hit that curbing right when he was closing in on Blaney for a quick second, and he lost whatever time he gained immediately. Best opportunities to get around the race leader today is going to be in lap traffic if we have long enough green flag runs throughout the course of the race and restarts. And Ryan Newman is setting a quick pace at the start of the race. You see Eric Almirola a lap or 2 ago got around Stenhouse for third, so Stenhouse is starting to slowly lose ground to the top 2, and Almirola is trying to do what he can to try and get into the top 2 himself. Brent Cole and Shangral, welcome to the stream. 20 to go, stage 1. Finally a redo it. Yeah, thanks for joining back, Ethan. Ethan knows what happened in the the original start of this race. Almirola slowly trying to close that gap as well. He was 3.3 back. He was down to 3 seconds back not too long ago. Ryan Newman's actually slowly losing ground this lap. I think he's the slowest of the top 3. At least this lap. I mean, that obviously could mean a couple different things. Maybe it's just the tires are slowly falling off now that we're about 5 laps into the run. Don't really think of Eric Almirola as a great road course racer either, but he's hanging in there pretty well off of the start. Joey Logano was closed in on Ricky Stenhouse for 4th. So Blaney's got about a 2-second lead in the early going of the race. In that last lap, Blaney was also a 1/10 of a second quicker than Almirola. Eric only a second off of second place, so obviously the cleanness there definitely helps for Blaney, the drivability of his car. We saw in that session qualifying that his car was really tight in traffic, and that could definitely be the case once he gets into lap traffic, or if he even gets passed for the lead at some point in time. So it's important he just keeps hitting his marks like he has up to this point, and he should be fine. So Ryan Newman slowly slipping back more. Now he's 3 seconds off the lead. Almirola within a second. Under a second behind Newman. Logano's still been trying to get around Stenhouse. He can't do it though. That was a big bounce off the curb. Blaney had to check up a little bit extra downhill. Seven people currently watching right now. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We have these full race live streams with a realistic broadcast on the daily with NASCAR video games. Starting my, I should say, getting my feet wet with the YouTube channel / broadcasting career. So follow me on that journey by subscribing. So hopefully living the dream of one day broadcasting real NASCAR races. Second lead. So Blaney is definitely faster than Newman. We have really seen this over the last couple laps in particular. And I believe Newman is really battling with Almirola now as they're within a couple 1/10 of a second from each other. So they're battling hard for second. This is going to allow Blaney to really open that gap up more and more until Almirola moves into second. Then we'll see if Eric might be able to run after Blaney, perhaps. Blaney could catch lap traffic at some point in time. He will if we stay green through this entire opening stage of the race. That will end up being the case eventually. Gonna have to take care of your tires, of course. Again, 30% of tire wear or less on any of these race cars in any one of these series on this game with the road courses. Your tires wear out completely, and it's like trying to drive on ice going through the shifts in particular. So definitely going to have to keep the pace up going. Blaney's running quick laps and only about a quarter of the way through the tire run. 8 laps complete already. Newman's still camping out in second place, but with them battling, it is now a 4.5 second lead. We know Blaney is really good on the road courses. Seems like he's always one of the front runners. Obviously, Chase Elliott, the best on the road courses, especially in the Cup Series over the last couple of years. But Blaney, I think, is right there as one of the more underrated road course drivers. Obviously, he won the Charlotte Roval, and a lot of people say that he was handed that win back in 2018, which he was. He put himself in a good position for that to end up being the case and going from third to first on the last lap. But you also kind of got to figure, too, not only put himself in that position, but Blaney has had a lot of top 5s on road courses in the last couple of seasons. Of course, remember, he won a stage at the Roval this year and still came back to finish in the top 5. Good performance there. And at the Daytona road course, he had a top 5 run also this year. So Blaney knows how to run these road course races. Maybe not as well as, say, Chase Elliott, but I think that's the case for everybody. And you're seeing Blaney rip around this place really quickly. Finished third at Sonoma last year as well, behind Truex and Kyle Busch. So still about a 4.5 second lead, almost 5 seconds. And the first lap car is about to come up into the picture here. It's like Matt Kenseth in the 42, way off the pace from everybody else. So Kenseth will be the first driver to go a lap down. Blaney trying to catch him in a good spot, maybe trying to outbrake him through the middle portion of the racetrack, and he gets around him nice and cleanly. About as easy as you could pass a car on this track. He's got a pretty wide gap to the next lap car as well. Might not catch him for the rest of the lap. So got to make quick work of the lap traffic. Almirola is just struggling to get around Ryan Newman. They're 5.5 seconds back. They are just battling so hard. Stenhouse still about 5.5 seconds behind them, so he's still losing time from second and third place despite them battling. I think that's because Stenhouse and Logano were battling hard for fourth, about 11.5 seconds off the lead as well. He's had a problem running that U-turn a little bit too wide on exit. That's the case again there, just kind of barely scraped the wall. Second lap car coming into the picture, John Hunter Nemechek in the number 38, Front Row Motorsports. Oh, and a spin by Blaney! Into the sand, off of turn 4. And that bigger lead is just wiped away now as Newman and Almirola are only about a second to a second and a half behind him. That was a big spin off the curbing there for Blaney. First mistake he's made today. He didn't hit anything though, so no damage. But has to get back onto the race course. Oh, jeez. A little mishap getting into the braking zone, now into the hairpin. Now they're still battling hard for second, but Blaney, again, that lead was wiped away. Wasn't quite to within range to really pass Nemechek, so it wasn't like he was trying to really force the issue to get around him. He just flat out had too big of a wheel hop after that curve and lost control. Huge pack of lap traffic coming up too in about the next half a lap or so. Blaney outbrakes Nemechek towards the end of this lap. And this huge amount of lap traffic, I think, is going to be the real testament to how quickly Blaney could get through this and really just try to hold on to this lead. Really got through the S's very well. I like that first carousel, I should say. Bobby Carter will be the next lap car. He started at the rear of the field today. Cole Custer back here. Michael McDowell. McDowell, pretty good road course racer, but not today. Not off to a good start. And here is that heavy lap traffic. Blaney gets by the first car. But this could be tough next couple laps here, trying to get around Custer next. Gets alongside of him. Almirola did jump up to second place. So look at how many cars. Blaney just outbraked about 3 of them. And oh, contact now. And Haley goes around. Timmy Hill barely keeps it on the track. Justin Haley goes around in the hairpin. There was contact between Blaney, Hill, and Haley. Haley loses control. There was also contact behind that. I don't know if McDowell got into the back of Haley, which kind of sent him into Timmy Hill and Ryan Blaney. because there was a big wheel hop off the curbing there by McDowell, who got sideways. I don't know if he made contact with the 16 before the 12 and the 66 made contact with him. Really tough to tell. And I think a couple more cars got caught up in that. See, the second and third place cars all of a sudden now 25 seconds off the lead. We do stay green, no caution. Remember, relaxed yellows are on for these road course races, so I think everybody missed him, but they might have had to come to a complete stop. And Ryan Blaney, now the pressure is off. He's got a 25-second lead all of a sudden. What a turn of events over the last handful of laps here at Sonoma. Blaney can now just take his time trying to lap these cars, as many as possible. Teammate Matt DiBenedetto will go a lap down in 27th. So yeah, the pressure should be off of Blaney for the rest of this stage as long as we don't get a caution. That was the opportunity to have our first yellow of the race. But I think everybody missed Haley, despite Justin Haley going around. Of course, Blaney spun earlier on his own as well. No caution there, but again, there really isn't going to be a caution for a single car spin unless other cars are involved. And you see that time and time again on the road courses, unless somebody stalls out as well. Blaney trying to get around his teammate now, Brad Keselowski. Off to a rough start as well here today. And Brad kind of lets him go. Not going to race his teammate real hard to stay in the lead lap there. Kind of rare that you would see that. See Christopher Bell in 25th now. Blaney crosses him over. Now the 25th place car is a lap down, so that's probably why. I don't think Brad was seeing a caution anytime soon, so he let his teammate go despite him having a big lead. And how about Ryan Preece all of a sudden? Where has he come from? He has jumped up to second place, passing Almirola and Newman recently. I think that stack up with Almirola and Newman behind the spinning Justin Haley stacked them up so much that Preece was able to get into the top 5, passing Logano. He obviously would have passed his teammate Stenhouse in the process, knocking him out of the top 5. But made quick work of Newman and Almirola in that lap traffic, and boy, oh boy, let me tell you, Ryan Preece looking fast all of a sudden here in stage 1. We have seen upset winners on road courses in the past. Could this be an upset kind of a race today to lock a playoff spot up? Again, 10 races to go until the playoffs after the conclusion of this one, so there is still time to get a win, but you don't want to wait till that regular season finale in Daytona if you can help it. And for Ryan Preece's sake, probably not going to have points to make it on in. Why not go for a win? Had a decent amount of wins already this season, lock up drivers, and that could knock out a really good car, really good equipment for making the playoffs if Preece can get a win. Blaney's got 9 stage wins on the year as well. He's looking for number 10. And speaking of 10, we've got 10 laps to go now in stage 1. So already 15 laps in the books. Tell you what, though, for 2021, I'm excited to see the Cup cars back at Sonoma again. Unfortunately, they weren't able to race there this year due to COVID, as well as Watkins Glen, for that matter. Also, pretty much kind of a similar reason. Again, they weren't able to race at Watkins Glen as well due to the COVID pandemic, and they will be running the Daytona Road Course next year again too, but it will be for the Clash, not a regular season race. Again, that was out of the whim mid-season. They kind of announced that, mainly so they could keep at least 2 road course races on the schedule instead of just having 1, and to make up for the loss of Sonoma and Watkins Glen. Again, Ryan Blaney has a 30-second lead if you're just tuning in because of the traffic jam and the hairpin at the top of the hill. There was contact between about 4 different cars from my speculation. I believe Michael McDowell got in the back of Justin Haley, which sent Haley into Ryan Blaney and Timmy Hill. Haley lost control after all of that contact. He spun out. It was a battle for the lead, a 3-way battle for the lead at the time in the lap traffic. And that really kind of held up Almirola and Newman. It allowed Ryan Preece to take over second. They kind of come from behind, and now Preece is still trying to hold off Almirola for that second position with less than 10 to go in the stage. And that is why you see Blaney with a huge lead all of a sudden. And Blaney himself spun out a couple laps before that when he had about a 6-second lead. And that brought it down to that 3-car battle all of a sudden for about a lap and a half before that incident. So a little bit of drama in the opening stage of the race, to say the least. And everything will be bunched back up again at the stage break, if not a caution that could come out before that. We'll have to wait and see. 8 laps to go on the stage. Blaney doesn't want to see a caution. He's pretty much got the stage locked up, even if he did for some reason spin again. As long as he doesn't hit anything, obviously. He was fortunate he just spun on his own right in this very corner right there off the curbing, and then never hit anything, just kind of went off into the sand. Regathered it back up. Big wheel spin there. William Byron might be the next car to go a lap down. There was a huge amount of clean air in between the 25th place car of Christopher Bell and the 24th place car of William Byron here. Bell off to a rocky last couple races despite having 2 wins already in the season. Remember, he had a stretch of 4 straight top 5s, which feels like not that long ago. He won at Bristol for the spring race and then ended up going on to win the Coke 600. A couple races later, had a runner-up finish at Richmond. Top 5 at Talladega, so he was on a good stretch of races there for a little bit. Oh, we got a car up in smoke coming to pit road. Eric Jones in the 20 having issues. So more drama in the opening stage of the race as Eric Jones is up in smoke. He'll easily lose a lap on the field. He will not be the first car 1 lap down either. So hopefully they can get that 20 car back on the racetrack. If not, it might be an engine issue. It was tough to tell from Blaney's perspective in this angle if it was something major or minor. Joey Gase in 22nd, running about halfway through the field. Good run up to this point. Another decent amount of space before Blaney catches the next lap car, and that lead is just growing more and more. I think they're caught in heavy and thick lap traffic as well, which is why they're losing the lead more and more. But they're not really running to catch Blaney. Blaney's won the stage. They're running hard to catch Priest in second, or for Priest's sake, trying to hold on to second. Another 1 second gap. Joey Logano's jumped up to third. This is actually Matt Kenseth is the next lap car, who is already 1 lap down, in danger of going 2 laps down in the first 20 laps of the race. Nonetheless, that is not good, especially for a Chip Ganassi Racing Chevrolet. Not sure what's going on with Kenseth here in the early going. Blaney gets around him pretty easily. Hard to come back from 2 laps down, let alone 1. It's like John Hunter Nemechek's not that far away as well from going 2 laps down in the 38 car. Priest is pulling away from Logano. He's about 5 seconds ahead of him, so a little bit of pressure off for Ryan Priest, but the job is not done yet. Still 5 laps to go in stage 1. He's hustling a little bit. He wants to at least get these next couple laps in, so that way if a caution came out, they would be able to not have a green-white checker finish for stage 1. They could just end the stage under the yellow and give Blaney that playoff point. So that's what he's racing for hard right now, and a potential to get a couple more drivers a lap down also. And there's Justin Haley, who went for that spin, is now ghosted. The 38 car. And he's just kind of sitting behind him now. Now he tries to make his move. Tyler Reddick would be the next driver to go 1 lap down. Haley now 2 laps down. Tim Irvin, welcome to the stream. I am not going to be able to do a doubleheader tonight. No, not with this cup race at least. Unless we DNF, but... Huge amount of lap traffic, not too far ahead of Blaney. He's trying to work around Tyler Reddick currently. Again, Blaney has the big lead because of the Justin Haley spin. Kind of caught up a lot of other drivers. Blaney slides ahead of Tyler Reddick, beating him into the braking zone. A lot of drivers going a lap down. We have not had a caution yet in stage number 1. But once everything gets bunched back up here in stage 2, as Blaney goes a little wide, almost spins out. Trying to get the car back out on the racetrack. That's really the second minor mistake we've seen from him today. Blaney's also led every lap too. Look at these drivers scrambling right now to try and stay on the lead lap. They know Blaney's right behind him. Oh my goodness, they're 3 wide up there. Blaney takes it 3 wide now. Austin Dillon hops out of the gas and lets him go. So Austin Dillon falls a lap down. Clint Boyer is in danger of going a lap down. So is Daniel Suarez and Jimmy Johnson. Johnson on that playoff cut line coming into the race. 18th in points, about 20 points back of 16th. It's just stage 1, but you still don't want to lose a lap. Kevin Harvick as well in the 4. About to go a lap down. Suarez trying to pinch Blaney, didn't work. Harvick, Johnson side by side. 3 laps to go in the stage. Harvick almost slides up into Jimmy Johnson. Suarez trying to outbrake Blaney on the outside. That's not going to work. Johnson and Harvick have been side by side for a while now. Goes to show how hard it is to pass. Blaney outbreaks them both 3 wide. And Johnson gets into the side of him, trying to cross him back over. Unbelievable. Johnson, despite the contact, holds on to the free pass position on Harvick. That's what they're racing for, back behind Blaney all of a sudden. As long as Blaney doesn't put another driver 1 lap down, one of those 2 are going to get the free pass. Don't count Suarez and Harvick out of it as well, but the problem is, there's Alex Bowman. Custer's already 1 lap down. Bowman just got around him. And we still got a decent ways to go in the stage. Blaney trying to put as many guys a lap down as he can as he struggled to get by Custer downhill through the S's. Still trying to get around Custer. He's going to have to outbrake him into this U-turn. Custer lets him go now. One of the few passing lanes on this reconfigured road course. So 2 laps to go, stage 1. Ryan Preece caught up about 6 seconds in the last couple laps all of a sudden as well. Tires aren't really completely worn out on this 12 car to this point either, but might be getting a little close. Bowman's doing whatever he can to try and stay in the lead lap. Let me tell you that right now too. Blaney's tires are going away from him. Might make it hard to handle. He's going to outbrake Bowman into the carousel. Bowman going to be able to cross him back over. He's looking low. Trying to cross him back over, but Blaney still beats him back to the gas. So now Bowman is a lap down in 15th. First driver 1 lap down. He will have that spot locked up if Blaney can't catch another lead lap car. Didn't upshift that time from 2nd to 3rd. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go, stage 1. Take a look at the top 5. Blaney, Preece is still in 2nd, and Preece has kind of walked away from Logano. Logano's quite a ways ahead of Almirola in 3rd, Almirola 4th, quite a ways ahead of Stenhouse in 5th. So Ricky just trying to hold on for that top 5 in the stage. He was there for a little bit, then he lost it. Now, Matt DiBenedetto is 1 lap down already. Chris Buescher, on the other hand, I believe, is on the lead lap in 14th. So Blaney trying to put Buescher a lap down. Blaney will put DiBenedetto 2 laps down to let him go there, and Buescher could be in trouble of losing the lap. Now, he would get the free pass, but that would hurt Alex Bowman, of course. Blaney trying to get around him, couldn't do it there. Large pack of lap traffic not too far ahead as well. Blaney goes a little wide. That's going to help Buescher hang on for a little bit. Tyler Burback, welcome to the stream. So Buescher definitely able to gap Blaney there. Blaney's tires are giving out on him. Blaney going to try to outbrake him into the U-turn. Oh, little contact. Kind of just stuffed it in there. Big wheel spin as well on the exit to the corner, but Buescher will go a lap down. Ryan Blaney wins stage 1. 10th stage win of the year for Blaney. Really bad video. Like 1040p. That's not good. Yeah, it does look a little pixely. A little bit on my end. Video quality is great. Yeah, I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not what it should be either. So, take a look at the top 10 who all received stage points there. Ryan Blaney, Ryan Preece, Logano, Almirola, Newman, your top 5, followed by Stenhouse, Hamlin, Kurt Busch, Chase Elliott, and Kyle Busch rounding out the top 10. And the free pass goes again to Chris Buescher in 14th. So, 4 fresh tires here, topping off on fuel. No damage to repair for the 12 team. And we will see a restart for stage number 2. So, everything will be bunched back up together. We'll see. Does Ryan Preece have anything for Ryan Blaney sneaking up to second there late in the stage? We'll see. Another 25 laps in stage 2. Green flag back in the air at Sonoma. Sure, all these guys are glad to have 4 fresh tires back on the race car as well. Look at Ryan Preece driving it in deep there. Got right on the back bumper of Blaney. What a restart by Denny Hamlin up to 3rd. BJ McLeod in 4th. They must have had faster pit stops as well. The lead puts the bumper to the back of Ryan Blaney to get to the lead as he set the 12 car wide. Blaney gets right back alongside of him. Boy, he's driving the car hard. Almost into the wall. Off the curbing. Great save. And again, Preece able to get away. Shows how hard it is to pass here. But Preece made it look easy mainly because of the bump and run maneuver. And Ryan Preece trying to lead his first lap of the race. Blaney has led them all up to this point. I'm sure Blaney wasn't too happy about Ryan Preece using that bump and run this early in the race, especially this early in the stage. But getting the clean air now is going to be huge for Ryan Preece. Blaney driving it in hard, and he puts the bumper now to Ryan Preece. A little payback. And Blaney still has led every lap, beating him back to the line. A little quick payback on the 37. Almirola back up to 5th. Heck of a restart by BJ McLeod to get up to 4th. Heck of a pit stop as well to put him in that situation. Oh, big wheel hop there by Blaney. Preece is right there outside. Now maybe trying to cut inside. Almost made contact again, but not quite. He's racing him straight up and clean now, and that is allowing Denny Hamlin to close the gap in 3rd. Maybe needing things to settle down for a quick moment, perhaps. Ryan Preece is still right there on Blaney. I mean, it's hard to tell if he's faster than him. It seems like Blaney pulls him from time to time, but Ryan Preece looks like he's got a fast race car. First time we've really seen these two battle for the lead today, and Blaney beats him back to the gas there. Denny Hamlin again closing in as we all of a sudden have a 3-car race for the lead with 20 laps to go in stage 2. Pretty fun battle. Wow, Blaney just pulled him about a half a lap or so. Hamlin might even be faster than both of these guys. He finished 8th back in stage 1, had a fast pit stop and a heck of a restart to get up to 3rd, and all of a sudden, Denny Hamlin's trying to contend as well. That was a big hop off the curb. Well, top 3 all within 2 seconds. Playing hard into the hairpin. Preece closed the door, but Blaney easily beats him back to the gas by having that wider entry. How much ground he was able to pull away from him with doing that. That was risky for sure. Preece almost got underneath him. That's how hard Ryan Preece really drove it in. Separation Blaney needs to back up this hard right-handed U-turn, but Ryan Preece tries to reel him back in as much as he can again. It's a great battle for the lead right now. Kurt Busch into the top 5. Almirola still sitting in 4th. Ryan Preece closes right back in on Blaney again in those finishing corners and now the beginning corners of this lap. Preece almost got to the bumper of Blaney again. Remember, he used it once and then Blaney kind of paid him back and using the bumper again later in the lap. Oh, that was a big bounce off the curb by Preece. Hamlin closes in on him a little more. Blaney's so good through that middle carousel. Luke Addison, welcome to the stream. It is a good battle for the lead early in stage 2, to say the least. Probably about as much racing for the lead as we have seen since that opening lap of the race. We saw a great start between Ryan Newman and Ryan Blaney. Newman, of course, finished 5th in the stage, but he's been nowhere to be found here in the beginning of stage 2. Had a slow pit stop and not a good restart. He's outside the top 5. 10 people watching currently right now. Thanks for everybody tuning in here on a Thursday evening. NASCAR Heat 5 action. We have these full race live streams of the realistic broadcast on the daily, so subscribe for more of that content as I start my broadcasting career to hopefully live the dream of one day broadcasting real races in the NASCAR realm. So help me live that dream and subscribe. It'll help me out a ton. I think it puts a fun, unique perspective into these races, and that's why we do these championship mode races throughout the course of a season. As Ryan Preece almost got underneath Blaney again. Blaney didn't really slip up in that corner. Preece drove it in hard. And Blaney kind of ran a little bit wider. But that was the corner Blaney got moved out of the way from Ryan Preece a little bit earlier. I think Ryan's going to want to get through Blaney before, or Ryan Preece that is, get through Ryan Blaney before the lap traffic, because I think that's going to be where you're going to see a lot of the difference between these two drivers is going to be in the lap traffic. It seemed like Preece struggled in lap traffic back in stage 1, but then after so long he started cutting back into that gap on Ryan Blaney. I think the beneficiary is going to be who will be the first to hit the lap traffic and get through that first car or two. It's going to be the big difference. BMNJ, welcome to the stream. Yep, we are racing at Sonoma today. First road course race of the season for the NASCAR Cup Series on NASCAR Heat 5. First of 3 for the Cup Series side. Again, Blaney a little wide on the entrance to the carousel. Big wheel hop by both cars, really. Preece was off the curbing. Blaney just flat out spun the tires trying to downshift to second gear. Preece had another wheel hop on the exit of the carousel, so Blaney pulls back away slightly. A couple car lengths ahead of him. And Denny Hamlin's lost touch from the top 2 all of a sudden. They stopped battling for the lead for a little bit. They're still nose to tail, but they haven't battled as hard as they did those first couple laps of the stage. And Hamlin went from about less than 2 seconds off the lead to almost 4 seconds off the lead. And Almirola is now less than a second behind him and reeling him in. Lenny seemed to be out of the gas a little longer than Preece there, but that allowed him to beat him back to the gas. We're going to alternate through the different camera angles for the first time today. 16 laps to go in stage 2 currently. Again, no pit stops in this second stage. In the final stage of the race, we will have to see at least one pit stop at some point in time. Oh, big wheel hop again by Blaney. Priest was close to being able to take him on the exit, but not quite. It was definitely close. Really got to rely on your spotters really well on these road course races with these stock cars, because it's so hard to pay attention in the rearview mirror, because it's just so hard to drive a car through these flatter, hard braking, high speed turns. Car really likes to slide around a lot with how heavy it is. You got to really muscle the car in the corners. See, Priest keeps changing his line lap after lap, and so does Blaney, just trying to break whatever draft there might be. Not really any long straightaways on this road course. Pretty windy. A lot of elevation changes, kind of sets itself apart from the other two road courses on the Cup Series circuit, at least for this schedule. Obviously, 2020 we'll have 6 of them. You'll really be able to see a wide variety starting next year, but even these 3 so unique. Blaney a little late into the braking zone there in the hairpin. Ryan Priest, though, again couldn't capitalize as much as I think Priest wanted to. If he can just keep the pressure on the 12 car for when his tires wear out at the end of the stage and be within striking distance, something nobody was within at the start of the last stage, or the finish of the last stage. You never know, we could see Ryan Priest getting a stage win today. Maybe even a race win later in the day. Oh, that's pretty cool there, Tyler. Good for, oh, Daniel Hemrick. Oh, big mistake there. Big wheel hop by Blaney. Priest gains some ground. And he's trying to get back to the gas soon. Hemrick, Cup Series Rookie of the Year last season, 2019. And just kind of got weeded out of the ride after 1 year, which was unfortunate, even though Tyler Reddick seemed to be the guy. But it just makes you wonder why they brought Hemrick up to begin with. But it's neither here nor there, I guess. Ran part-time for Junior Motorsports, of course, and this season in the Xfinity Series. Is it a full-time contract, I'd have to assume? Probably would be. You ride for sure. See what he can do. And this 12 car Blaney is pushing it hard right now, just trying to stay in front of Ryan Priest. first lap car of Matt Kenseth will be coming up very soon. So the start of the lap traffic here in stage 2 will be coming. As Blaney gets closer, his car might be a little bit harder to drive, maybe a little bit tighter through the center of these higher speed, higher braking corners. Going to try to drive it in deep and get around Kenseth quickly into the hairpin, and he did a perfect job. About as quick as he could have gotten around Matt Kenseth there. Wide gap before the next lap car. Downhill in the S's. A 2.5 second lead on Priest. Priest is stuck behind Matt Kenseth and losing a little bit of ground. Was Hemrick a Ford guy? I don't know if he was or not. I don't remember him driving Ford. Granted, it's only the Xfinity Series 2. Driving Toyota. It's not like he's driving Toyota in the Cup Series anytime soon. That last lap, by the way, was the fastest for Ryan Blaney today. It was a 131.063. About 2 to 3 tenths of a second faster than what he ran in qualifying. That is insanely fast. Part of why he pulled away from Ryan Priest. But that was despite passing Matt Kenseth on the lap as well. So that's pretty surprising. Again, that much time on that lap despite trying to make a pass on another car. Whether it was a lap car and he got around him quick or not, that's still insane how he ran that fast of a lap. Oh, big wheel hop off the curbing. Barely keeps it on the racetrack. Knocks it into the cones. And that completely got that car sideways. Saw how much grip he lost once he hit the cones there. Trying to catch the car off the curbing from the corner before. Going downhill through the S's. Side by side with the lap traffic of Justin Haley and John Hunter Nemechek, and that's going to cost Ryan Priest a little bit of time that he could have gained on Ryan Blaney that last lap. But that was a big time save by Blaney, despite not really getting out of the gas much. Took my eyes off the road for about a second there looking at the chat, and I missed that corner. That's all right. Not a lot of damage. We're fine. Now Blaney caught behind DiBenedetto. Eric Almirola slowly starting to reel in both the top two, especially the second place driver of Ryan Priest. Blaney will get around DiBenedetto. Seems to be running even slower than what he did back in stage number 1. And is now 3 laps down. Andy Deeb, pretty good road course racer as well. Pretty surprised running this far back. Remember, he finished top 5 for Levine Family Racing last season at Sonoma. Four-second lead on Priest. Priest slowly pulling back away again from Almirola, and you can see this is the big difference maker. Look at how deep that 12 car drove it in to get by Timmy Hill. Cole Custer back there now looking to get around Keselowski. Not a lot of room there, but he passes him cleanly nonetheless. 10 laps to go, stage 2. Timmy Hill trying to cross him back over. Blaney clears him again. LaJoy. LaJoy, oh, contact! LaJoy almost went around in the hairpin. Blaney was trying to stay wide. You saw how wide he was on the curbing on the exit of the hairpin, and he still made contact with LaJoy. That's just not a corner to really run side by side. Still see the cones laying on the racetrack from Blaney from a couple laps prior, but good save by LaJoy nonetheless. He lost the position there to David Reagan, but that could have been a whole heck of a lot worse for him and the race leader. Oh yeah, you definitely have to pre-order the PS5s. I heard from a friend, I guess he called GameStop, and they were almost out of PS5s already on pre-order. Like they weren't going to be able to get any more. Winval talked about it on his Gas Holes podcast too, and now that I've heard that story, too, it's like they know they're going to be selling like millions and billions of these things. Why don't they make enough? So like a ton of people are going to want them. Like, why is there nowhere close to enough of the amount? And then they're so hard to, find and buy in the first place, too. They should be able to look up on their website, pre-order now. Like, you can't find that anywhere. Which I thought was funny now that I'm, like, looking back. I thought it was funny at the time when he said it, but the way he explained it, but I was like, yeah, that's true. I'm not really looking to get one right away anyway, but, for other people's sake. Blaney out to about an 8.5-second lead. So that is the difference maker, is the lap traffic. Much like it was back in stage 1. But I think you're really able to see it a lot better in this stage. Especially with Corey LaJoy saving the car when he was sideways and not spinning like Justin Haley did. That same area of the racetrack back in stage 1. Alvarola slowly starting to reel in Ryan Preece again for second place. So that seems to be the difference makers, the lap traffic today. Blaney gets through the lap traffic a lot better than everybody else. Still hard to pass on the road courses, but Blaney is making it look easy here today, at least with the lap cars. Still 7 laps to go in the stage, but he's really widening that gap out. He can now try to save his tires a little bit, which they'll easily be able to make it to the end of the stage, but so they're not chewed up too bad, of course. Oh man, Blaney just about ran into the back of Bilicki. He went wide on purpose into the hairpin. He didn't brake in time, and he knew he wasn't going to get out of the way, so he just went wide to miss him. So Bilicki hangs on to his lap on the racetrack for the moment, but boy, that was really, really close. Now we'll get around him there. 6 laps to go this time by stage 1. Oh man, oh, contact! Byron saves it. I think he's lucky it was a right-handed corner coming up because he was able to drift right through the hairpin after the contact with Blaney getting on in. Blaney again misjudging the timing of when the lap cars are braking and when he's braking. I've noticed over the last couple laps, Blaney struggled passing lap cars, probably more than what we've seen all day up to this point. Look at Byron just passing him right back. That time Byron wasn't able to outbrake him. Five laps to go in stage 2. That's the last thing Blaney needs is a caution right now to stack everything back up. He's taking care of his tires a lot better in this stage than what he did in stage 1 from what it looks like, but he still doesn't want to restart. Denny Hamlin, Ryan Preece were awesome on the last couple restarts. Granted, Hamlin is not in the top 5 anymore, but Preece has gained a little bit of that time back. It was similar to how we saw Blaney run in stage 1 where he pulled away, and then at the end of the stage, Preece was really running him down in the very, very end of the run, end of the stage. Blaney seemed to struggle with the lap cars a little bit more compared to the beginning of the stage, where everybody else seemed to battle with the lap cars more than Blaney. We are caution-free up to this point, incident-wise. Again, if we don't count the stage breaks as cautions, we have not had a caution for incident yet. Preece is now about 7 seconds ahead of Eric Almirola. And no course penalty up to this point for Ryan Blaney as well. So that's also good. Four to go now in stage 2. We've seen crazy restarts today. If you count the start of the race and then the start of this stage, pretty wild racing. I'm sure you're going to see that at the start of stage 3 as well here. There's Chris Buescher in 14th. Blaney wants to get around him really quickly here, put him a lap down. Buescher's stuck behind Quinn Houck, but he'd have to hold on for a couple laps beyond that point as well. 3 wide into the braking zone, into the hairpin. Buescher can't cross him over either. Oh, Buescher went wide. I think he made contact with Quinn Houck. At least came close to it if they didn't make contact. Be thankful my car's not ghosted. Was that Heat 4 one last time around? I think it was Heat 4 we got ghosted at this track for some reason. I can't remember. I think Truex turned us. And he turned us like right into the pit road barrier. Very bad set of corners there for Blaney. Buescher closes in a little bit more, but Barring a major mistake here from the 12 car, I don't even think Chris Buescher's going to get around him and get his lap back, but Buescher he'll fight for it if he has to. He does not want to restart at the rear of the field again. But at least he would get the free pass to get back on the lead lap in the first place at this coming stage break here in a couple laps. But Blaney has led every lap up to this point. If he leads every lap to the stage break, that would mean that he will have led the first 50 laps of the race on a road course nonetheless. Now, he did win the race off pit road last time. We'll have to see, obviously, if he can do that again. Kurt Busch really starting to impress. He had a great restart. He slowly worked his way right back up to fourth where he's running right now. Almirola, I think, has a faster car than what we think he does. He's been in the top 3 for most of the day. We'll have to see how good of a car Hamlin's got on the short run again. This next restart, BJ McLeod had a good pit stop last time. He would have went into the pits in 12th. Didn't even score stage points. And quickly got up to 4th on the restart and with a quick pit stop. Do I usually get cautions before having to pit? Sometimes, and sometimes I don't. It just varies. Like anything else. It makes sense that that would happen because it'd be towards the end of a tire run. So maybe somebody's blowing a tire. I mean, it makes sense. Matt Kenseth is about to go 4 laps down in the first 2 stages of the race. Still running in 40th as long as 39th rather. I forgot Eric Jones was out of the race. Blaney takes it 3 wide underneath Kenseth and Reddick. Reddick now going to go 2 laps down in 22nd as well there, and Clint Boyer's in danger of going 2 laps down. Now he's just inside that playoff cut line, 14th in points coming into this race today. About 40 points above the cutoff line, but obviously going 2 laps down. That's going to be tough for him to come back from. This is the final lap of stage number 2, by the way. Blaney won stage 1, trying to get that 11th stage win here in this one. And he came in just 17 points ahead of Hamlin, who scored 3 stage points back in the opening stage. We'll have to see what he can score in stage 2 if he scores points at all here. Clint Boyer's going to go 2 laps down now. And I don't think Blaney will catch another car in this stage. And if he does, it'll be a car that is already at least 1 lap down. I don't believe 13th is anywhere close to him. So I'll have to pause it for a quick moment at the stage break too, so I can get my phone on a charger here. Keep the chat up, so I'll have to run downstairs for a quick second. Coming out of the final couple turns here. Green, white, checkered flag in the air again. Ryan Blaney wins stage 2 at Sonoma, sweeping the stages here. It's kind of in the middle of a desert. So Blaney wins stage 1. Take a look at the top 10 who will all get stage points here in stage, Blaney wins stage 1 and 2. We'll take a look at the top 10 who will all get stage points here in stage 2 before I pause it. Give ourselves a quick break here. Waiting for it to finalize. There we go. So Blaney P1, followed by Ryan Preece, Eric Almirola, Kurt Busch, Joey Logano, your top 5, followed by Denny Hamlin, Ryan Newman, Chase Elliott, Martin Truex Jr., and Ricky Stenhouse round out the top 10 here in stage number 2. 4 fresh tires, topping off on fuel, and we'll have a 60-lap shootout to decide the winner of the race today. So give me one quick moment here, and we will get back. It looks like Almirola second, and Blaney wins the race off pit road. All right, we're back. We are back. Whoops. Thanks for the pause, guys. All right, back to the racing action. Oh, jeez. After I dropped my controller on the ground. All right. Final stage coming our way here at Sonoma. Should be a lot of fun. Actually, let me switch controllers here real quick too, because I noticed this one was getting low on battery while I have it paused. All right, we're back again. We're good to go. Thanks for everybody staying tuned as well. Third and final stage is about to come. Ryan Blaney will lead the field to the green. He has led every lap in this race so far, and the green flag is back in the air from the pole, might I add. Preece lost the spot there on pit road. We'll see how that will work. Eric Almirola with a great restart in second place, able to hold him off. Kurt Busch side by side for third with Preece. Will this be the final restart of the day? We haven't had a caution for incident yet. Now Almirola takes a peek to the inside. Both cars a little loose. Blaney beats him back to the gas and kind of pinched the 10 car off. Almirola still winless on the season. It'd be big for him to clinch his ticket into the playoffs. Michael Turner, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I can't really recall Matt Kenseth ever really, like, has he won a road course race in his career? I don't think he's ever won one. He might have, like, early in his career if he did. Yeah, that could very well be why he's at the back. Oh, that was a big mistake there. Blaney might have been in second gear, but now he's going to have that protective line into the U-turn. Almirola looks high. Blaney able to beat him back to the gas. Ryan Preece is in third. He was able to fend off Kurt Busch on the restart. Blaney has led every lap to this point, and we'll be halfway home this time by. Don't count Almirola out of it yet, but Ryan Preece might have to make quick work. I think Preece has one of the faster cars with Blaney. I think he's a little faster than that 10 car right now. You know what? He did win at Watkins Glen. He won in Joe Gibbs Racing Equipment, didn't he? Yeah, now that you mention that, I think he might have. It wasn't 2015. I think that was Logano. That was the year Harvick ran out of gas and they had that shootout between Logano and Harvick. 2014 was Allmendinger. It would have had to have been 2016 if Kenseth won at Joe Gibbs Racing Equipment. If it wasn't 2016, I don't know what year it was. Because then before AJ, it was a couple years of Ambrose, and then Busch and Keselowski were kind of splitting wins there for a little bit. That early 2010s. The best finish on a road course is second at Watkins Glen 2017. Okay. Yeah, that's a long career too to not get a win on a road course, unfortunately. Well, there we go. In that kind of equipment, though, he should be running it in last, I would say, but definitely could be a reason why he is not running very well today. Almirola hasn't been within striking distance of the lead since that opening lap of the restart. He's still only a second behind, but Ryan Preece kind of taking his time to get around him. I think Preece has to hustle. They're not really battling too hard with one another, which is causing them to really keep up with Blaney, but Blaney's going to continue to pull away from Eric if Ryan Preece just can't get around him and get around him fast. But that was caused by Ryan Preece's pit crew not beating that 10 car off of pit road. That is where that came into play. And caution for the first time today. Caution is out with 55 laps to go. So right at the halfway mark, we get our first caution for incident. And that'll bunch everybody back up once again. Almirola was able to hang on to second at the timing of the yellow as well. Ryan Newman back up to 6th. Chase Elliott surging through the field up to 7th. And the free pass will go to Alex Bowman in 15th. Eric Jones, by the way, has gotten back on the lead lap throughout the course of the race today. Remember, Jones had to go to pit road earlier in the race due to an issue. Was up in smoke, had a flat tire presumably, and he is back on the lead lap. He'll pit here. So after the first caution for incident, here we go.
Coming to the green. Are you ready now?
And green flag back in the air once again. 52 laps to go. Blaney still led every lap. Preece and Kurt Busch side by side back there for third once again. Blaney just trying to hold on to the lead on Eric Almirola. Blaney a much better restart this time than what he did that last lap, but Almirola still fighting. Oh, Blaney gets loose. Barely able to stay in front of the 10 car. Not by much. And Kurt Busch has jumped up to third, getting around Ryan Preece on the restart. Ryan Newman into the top 5 in 5th. Remember, he looked strong early. Almirola needs to get around Blaney quick if he's going to want a chance here. I think Blaney's just got a faster car, and as the laps wind on, he should pull away from the 10. And Ryan Preece really needs to get up there. He lost a spot that time to Kurt Busch on the restart. Now Preece has a couple cars to try and pass. Oh, Almirola shoots to the inside. Blaney beats him back to the gas again and pulls the block. This battle for the lead is allowing Kurt Busch to close in. He's less than a second off the lead now. This could be huge. Kurt Busch is all over the back of the 10. Remember when Kurt Busch almost won this race in James Finch equipment back in the 51 car in 2012. So he knows his way around Sonoma. And lesser equipment, a little bit better equipment than that obviously with Chip Ganassi Racing, but he's in the top 3 here. Priest now 2.5 seconds off the lead. He's got to go. He's got to catch up to those 2 cars ahead of him. If Kurt Busch and Eric Almirola get to battling quite a bit with one another, that could allow Priest to close in on him a little bit more. And he has really closed the gap. And now he looks underneath of Ryan Priest looks underneath of Kurt Busch through the hairpin. Brian O'Born, welcome to the stream. One and a half second lead for Blaney. So Priest got alongside of Kurt Busch, but he just wasn't able to pass him that last lap at the top of the hill. Yep, 2011 with Penske. Winner here. Almirola really closed the gap through those last couple corners on Blaney again, just for Blaney to pull right back away. That was despite the fact that Blaney never really made a mistake either. He just got reeled in there for a second. We could have seen some adjustments out of the 10 car under that stage break as well that could have gotten him a little bit faster too, so don't count that out of the possibilities. Yeah, Truex has won here. I think he's won here 3 times. I think he's won here twice with Joe Gibbs Racing. Obviously won with Michael Waltrip Racing here as well. I think Truex has 3 wins at this track. Ryan Priest, by the way, jumped up to 3rd place, getting around Kurt Busch. It took him a lap or 2, but he was able to get there, and now he's trying to run down the top 2. And we saw what the lap traffic could do difference-making wise. So these guys might get to them at some point in time, assuming we have a long enough green flag run. And Blaney goes a little wide. And he's still wide, and Eric Almirola is going to get to the lead. Blaney was struggling mightily there. Almirola almost tried to throw the block. Blaney clipping the sand a little bit more. That dead grass. Able to get back by him. Blaney still led every lap to this point. What a dominant race it's been. Although we've had close racing throughout like this. So although it has been dominant in laps led, Blaney almost lost the lead for the first time right there. LSU football, welcome to the stream. And Almirola sneaks to the inside. Who will lead the lap at the line? It'll be Blaney. Blaney really got through 3rd gear really well that time to pull back ahead of him again. Almirola's tried to do everything he can to pass him clean. He's come close a couple times in the last lap, and that has allowed Ryan Priest now to close in within a second of the lead. Well, that's the opportunity. Priest could try to get around Almirola. He's not that far back from Blaney as well. We don't know if Priest has the best car. when he used that bump and run to get around Blaney, Blaney used it right back to get around him a couple corners later. So we don't know exactly if that 37 car can run away with it if he does get back to the lead for more than a couple corners. Mel B, welcome to the stream as well. Fun race here today at Sonoma, and that battle for second has increased now, and it has allowed Blaney to pull ahead a little bit, about a second and a half ahead now. Again, for anybody new watching currently, we do these full race live streams with a realistic broadcast on the daily for NASCAR video games. So subscribe for more of that content as I start my broadcasting career. Help me out on that journey so I can hopefully one day live the dream of broadcasting real races within the NASCAR realm. It's a young, slow journey. But every subscriber helps me out a ton. So I appreciate the support from all of you. Priest has been knocking on the doorstep of second place and just still can't get around him. Look at how much both cars closed in on Blaney there through those last couple corners. They were a second and a half back about a half a lap ago, and they were right on the back bumper of Blaney all of a sudden there. And both cars are trying not to... They're racing hard to get around one another, but at the same time, they haven't really gotten alongside of each other to slow them down too much. They're able to keep some sort of pace with Blaney. Good bounce off the curb there. Priest took a big bounce off the curb a little bit further back as well. Allowed Almirola to pull a couple car lengths ahead of him now through the Esses down the hill. Look at how close Priest is to the 10 of Almirola. As close as we have seen three cars together for this long all race. And everybody still has to pit one more time at some point in time before the end of the day. Guys can go anywhere between 35 to 39 laps on fuel. These guys aren't going to want to stretch it that long on tires with the stage brakes. They haven't ran more than 25 laps on tires this entire race. Yeah. Obviously, you guys that are familiar with the channel know my quest and my goal to, obviously, broadcast races. But I also, in the meantime of that, want to get to every single Cup Series track at least once. And I haven't been to New Hampshire yet. But if it's anything kind of like Watkins Glen area, where it's like that upstate New York, kind of the northeastern part of the country, where there's a lot of mountains, a lot of trees, I would assume, yeah, it's pretty gorgeous there. But hopefully I can get there. I don't have New Hampshire on the agenda for next year at all either, but one of these years we'll get up there. It'd be a pretty unique racetrack too. Ryan Newman has peaked into the top 5 trying to get around Kurt Busch. Remember, he qualified second on the front row. Less than 0.2 of a second off of Blaney's fastest time in qualifying. That qualified him up in second place. But although Blaney's led every lap, Newman was up in the top 3 for a large part of the first portion of the race. The majority of the opening stage before Ryan Preece was able to kind of use that lap traffic to his advantage to get up to second. We have seen how fast Priest is, but I still don't think we've seen his full potential up to this point either. I mean, the concentration to lead every lap as well. Like every individual lap in this race, because even the pit crew's been on it. 2 times everybody has come to pit road, and that was at the stage breaks, and both times Blaney's crew won him the race off pit road. So he has literally led every lap, both under caution and under yellow, and under green. We haven't really seen him in a desperate situation to hold on to the lead on very, very worn tires. Once it gets down to 30% or less on just one tire, it'll really affect the handling of the race car. We haven't seen that yet, because he's had a big lead at the end of the stages when they got to that point. But if we get more cautions in the final stage, so we've seen one already, we didn't see any in the first 2 stages. Who knows? Priest has still really not been able to get alongside the 10 of Almirola. They're still about 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds back. They're not within striking distance to really make a pass on Blaney, but they're not that far behind either. If Blaney also struggles just a little bit to get around that first lap car whenever he catches them, they could get around. There you see Matt Kenseth, who will be the first lap car of the final stage that these guys will catch. And it will probably be in less than a lap, so we'll see if they can get to within that striking distance to try and take the lead away from Blaney this time by. Oh, and Blaney a little wide. They go up the hill. He barely kept it on the track. That was a good job. That was allowing him to hold on to the lead. Using all the curbing there as well. Big bounce off the curb by really all 3 of the top 3 cars, but again, they have closed the gap. No major mistakes since that first stage when Blaney spun, but he was able to hold on to the lead. Outside of that, there hasn't really been a major mistake since for the 12 team. And Blaney is stuck behind Kenseth into the hairpin. Trying to get around him. And Priest trying to get underneath of Eric Almirola. Kind of overran the hairpin himself there. Blaney quickly gets around Kenseth. Side by side for second place, and Ryan Priest has the nose out in front. He might have ran Almirola wide. And Ryan Priest is up to second place. Looked like he wasn't going to be able to get it there for a second. He ran too wide, but I think Almirola ran wider. A lap car now in between the top 2 still. So 2.5 seconds off the lead. Priest is up to second place again. Can he try to challenge Ryan Blaney for the lead? It's going to depend how quickly he can get by Matt Kenseth. I like how it tried to monetize. I can't really get to the laptop right now, but Tim Irvin tried to talk about how he likes Ryan Blaney's Dickies paint scheme, and it monetized the fact that he had Dickies put on the chat. So although it wasn't profaned, YouTube decided to monetize it. Now Blaney's stuck in the Esses down the hill right behind John Hunter Nemechek, and he'll try to make a pass on him now. Chance for Ryan Priest to close in a couple tenths of a second. Oh yeah, he closed in a ton because of it. He's now 2 seconds off the lead all of a sudden. More lap traffic to come too. Matt DiBenedetto will be the next car. And it seems like Matty D has been getting a little bit slower over the course of this race today. Preece less than 2 seconds off the lead at the line as he tries to get around John Hunter Nemechek now. Blaney almost into the back of the 21. He had to check up. Benedetto gives him plenty of room to get around him. Racing his affiliated teammate really cleanly, just letting him go without a fight. Helps that DiBenedetto's already a couple laps down as well. He doesn't really need to fight. And now we'll see if he might try to hold off Preece a little bit more for Blaney's sake, as Blaney sends it to get by Justin Haley quickly. And this is where we saw Blaney pull away at the most in stage 1 and stage 2, and that was in the lap traffic. So we'll have to see if that will happen again here. Brad Keselowski outside the top 30. Never really been that great at Sonoma. We've seen him run well at the Charlotte Roval and even Watkins Glen. He's got a win there in his career. So he's not bad on road courses. He just doesn't seem to really get through Sonoma very well, and that is the case here today as well. And again, not only no major mistakes outside of that minor spin where he had no contact with anybody or the wall for that matter, no tire barrier. Blaney kept that car clean. Saw how tight the car got once he got in line behind Cole Custer there also, and he is struggling right now to get by Custer. Custer with a big wheel hop, and that time Blaney gets under. 2.5 second lead. Once again, Preece is trying to stick around as much as he can. I think he's caught behind Brad Keselowski now. Ooh. Big bounce off the curb there, kind of undercut the hairpin on the exit to it. And Preece closes in again, but now he's got another lap car in between him and Blaney, so we'll see how long it'll take for him to get around that next lap car. I mean, they could race at Kentucky. I think NASCAR could go back to Kentucky. It's not impossible. I mean, they have put a lot of money into that racetrack over the last couple years. Oh, a little contact up there. Bobby Carter kind of got into the wall. Oh, and he kind of pinches off Blaney all of a sudden there and now lets him go. Oh, maybe he hasn't let him go yet. So that checked Blaney up as well, with Carter getting into the wall near the start-finish line. That last kink right before it. Barely keeping her on the racetrack. Still only about halfway through the tire run. The tires don't really fall off that much until the very end of the run. That final quarter of the run, they really fall off. Corey LaJoie, I believe, might be the next lap car. Eric Almirola has really lost sight of the top two. He's 7 seconds off the lead. Logano almost 11 seconds back in fourth. Kurt Busch back to fifth, and he is 12.5 off the lead. Seconds, that is. Oh, LaJoie not really giving Blaney a lot of room there. Again, Blaney's car gets tight in line as Desperately trying to get around LaJoie, but LaJoie is not letting him go. And Ryan Preece now is within a second of the lead as Blaney finally gets around LaJoie. So hard to pass here. I don't think it's so much that Corey LaJoie was trying to purposely block Blaney off. It was just so hard to pass on this track. Ryan Preece is going to get around LaJoie a lot quicker than what Blaney did. And look at this line of about 4 lap cars, about a half a second ahead of Blaney. McDowell, Chastain, Timmy Hill, and Christopher Bell. Blaney caught right behind McDowell. Got right on that right rear corner panel. Tried to side draft him just enough. He'll get around him, but now McDowell tries to cross him back over. Blaney blocks him off. Blaney hard into the U-turn now. Underneath Chastain, who isn't giving him a lot of room. Real spin on that painted curb, but he's good. He'll get around him. 2.5 lead at the line for the top 2. Now stuck behind Timmy Hill and Christopher Bell. Preece already alongside the 34 car. Michael McDowell. And it's just amazing what Ryan Preece has been able to do here in this race today. Maybe giving himself a shot to win. Chastain for a moment got back alongside the 12 again. Blaney really needs to get by Timmy Hill and Christopher Bell. He's underneath Hill. Trying to make a quick move on Christopher Bell. Bell's got a little bit of damage to the front of his race car. Be part of why he's been a little slower today. About as good as we've seen any of the other drivers get through the lap traffic outside of Blaney. It seems like Blaney struggled a little more in this final stage as well, but Preece is doing about as good of a job as he has done all day. Chad Fincham will go another lap down in 26th. I believe 3 laps down now. Oh, he tries to cross Blaney back over again. Blaney clears him. Preece 4.5 seconds off the lead at the line. 36 laps to go at Sonoma. Blaney still led them all. There'll be 75 laps completed at the start-finish line this time by. How do I pick my video pictures after every race? For the streams, well, really any video for that matter, I just go to Google Images. I try to find the more fitting picture for a certain racetrack. So with the NASCAR Thunder 2004 streams, with it being a 2003 season, I literally try to find pictures from 2003 at that track. Whether it's that or just trying to screenshot something from a race or something of that nature. If I can't find anything on Google Images. And because I do the realistic broadcast too, with it being a realistic broadcast, that's why I put a real picture in there instead of pictures from the actual race on this game. Seven-second lead all of a sudden for Blaney, largest lead of the stage for the 12 team. Tires still have a little bit of wear left. Now they can go about another 17 laps or so on fuel. Oh, Blaney might overrun that corner. He did. Trying to get back on the track. He passed David Reagan for a moment. Reagan got back around him. Beats Reagan back to the gas now, and he'll get back around him again before they even get into the braking zone for the hairpin. Priest gains a little bit. Still about 7 seconds off the lead. Decent ways to go in this one, but not a long ways to go, all things considered. We are under the final third of the race. First two stages were so short and no cautions made it a quick race pace as well. best race footage you've seen in the... Yeah, that was something. That was definitely something. Quinn Half having a pretty stellar performance given his equipment, sitting in 24th. And again, Blaney overrunning the exit to the carousel. Second straight lap he's done that. Priest not really within striking distance. He's really lost out on Blaney for the moment. Once those tires start to wear out though on the 12 car, once we see it get down to 30% tire wear, whether it's the left front or the right front first, Blaney's car is really going to fall off if we don't get a caution before that point. It has been a fun race up to this point today. We have seen some classic races, some classic finishes. You never know, this could be another one here today. It has been pretty fun up to this point. Some battling here. It's only going to get more intense as the race progresses, and if we get another restart as well, I'd assume that would be intense as well. Ooh, Austin Dillon kind of scuffed the wall near the start-finish line. Same place Bobby Carter did a little earlier when he was in front of Ryan Blaney. Big wheel hop. Blaney's really struggling to try and get around Austin Dillon. Beats him back to the gas. Dillon got a little squirrely, and that's going to allow Blaney to get on by him. Now Alex Bowman got the free pass under the last caution. Blaney barely keeps it on the track. Almost went off 3 corners, or 3 laps in a row in that corner. Blaney trying to outbreak both the Hendrick Chevrolets of Byron and Bowman. 3 wide. Oh, he kind of chopped off Byron, and Byron ran wide right into Bowman. Oh, contact. They get on through. Nothing you want to see the race leader get into. Bowman was on the lead lap. He is the first driver 1 lap down, by the way, in 15th. Got the free pass under that last caution. If I had to guess, it's probably going to be in another lap, lap and a half, and Blaney's car's just going to be sliding around all over the place on worn tires, so he's just going to try to hold on as long as he can. He's led every lap to this point. And he doesn't want to pit yet either, even if those tires get worn out. despite the fact he'd be losing ground that he has made on Ryan Preece. 10-second lead now. First time we've seen that big of a lead in the final stage for the 12 team. And Almirola, meanwhile, 19.5 seconds off the lead, and he's about 8 seconds behind Ryan Preece. He's really become a non-factor all of a sudden. Enzo's got a little sideways there. Yeah, we might very well see some green flag pit stops in this race. These guys have not gone longer than 25 laps on a set of tires. Green flag laps, that is. We had 3 laps under the caution. "12-second lead now for Blaney. Doesn't want to pit under green, though. So he doesn't have to worry about losing a lap. But again, he also just wants to make sure that there isn't going to be a ton of laps left. See, still 30 laps to go. If he can make it to about 20, probably 21 or 22 laps to go, that'd be a good time to pit. Then he wouldn't have to worry about his tires getting extremely worn by the end of the race. So we'll see if he can stretch it another 7 or 8 laps. On fuel, he could stretch it 12 if he really wanted to. Those tires are pretty worn out. Preece is 15 seconds off the lead, really struggling in the lap traffic more than what we've seen Preece probably struggle all day all of a sudden. But he's going to slowly gain that time back. We're really going to see Blaney's lap times fall way off. "17-second lead all of a sudden. More lap traffic just up ahead. Lead Preece is struggling behind somebody right now, and Almirola is losing ground too. I mean, you would assume with Blaney's tires as worn out as they are that he's going to start reeling them in slowly but surely, but it could be rapid as well once there's no more lap traffic in the way. Again, we know the 37 car is fast. He's just not really struggling with the car. He's just struggling with the traffic. Speaking of traffic, Reddick and Boyer were side by side right in front of Blaney there. So they're both stuck behind John Hunter Nemechek. Blaney slid the tires, getting by all 3 of them through the carousel. NASCAR video game career mode? Oh, what game? I've always been a Ford guy, especially with the Mustangs. Sentimental. Mainly because I have a Mustang. I was like, oh yeah, for sure. All my favorite, I mean, when I was a Biffle fan, he always drove a Ford. Blaney obviously drives a Ford, so that's kind of main reason why. Not much of a Chevy versus Ford battle to me. It just kind of is what it is. Other people would disagree. Suarez 1 lap down in 18th, about to go 2 laps down up here. Another big hop off the curb. Oh, Blaney still trying to catch that car. How much ground he lost to Suarez there in the last couple corners. Reese again just not able to really catch him. I think Blaney's going to have to stay in at least 3rd gear in these corners. It seems like he drops to 2nd gear and the car just seems to be sliding a little bit more. Try dropping to 2nd again. Priest now all of a sudden 13.5 seconds back. So Ryan Priest trying to cut into that deficit as much as he can. Twelve and a half back at the line for Priest. Alvarola a lot further back than that. Priest is gaining on Blaney. Right front down to about 20% tire wear. Suarez has been stuck behind Justin Haley the last couple laps. Blaney's reeled them both in. Make a pass on both of them there. Big slide. Saw the car bottoming out that time. That big wheel hop. Of all the road courses in the Cup Series, all 3 of them, this is the most amount you can go on tires and fuel, it seems like, on a full run. Of course, a little bit shorter of a length around this road course compared to the Charlotte Roval and Watkins Glen, so that's probably a large part of it. Despite the fact it takes a little longer to get around, that's just because it's more turns than Watkins Glen. Charlotte Roval, it's about equal in turns, despite the Roval being a little bit longer in length. The reconfiguration of this track, when they added that older configuration, I guess, last season in 2019, the lap times went down those couple extra corners. Now it takes about 1.5 minutes to get around this place versus before it was about 1:15 to 1:20. Kind of made the race a little bit longer with the same 110 lap length. Slide that time, but Blaney's doing a good job keeping the car on the racetrack. Despite the handling kind of being out of control at this point in the run. What a day. I mean, Blaney has still led every lap to this point. A really strong day. But can he keep it up? In a long time, especially in the Cup Series, since we have seen one driver lead every lap in the race. Oh man, he almost slid into the tire barrier on pit road. My goodness. He had a big wheel hop when he was downshifting to about 2nd gear, going into that heavy, hard braking U-turn, and he almost put it right into the tire barrier. That'll take your breath away. Blaney kind of taking his time right here behind Keselowski. Maybe waiting for the right moment to get around him. And that would be the right moment. Right there. Power sliding his way on by him. Another big slide, barely keeping it on the track. It's very worn out tires. At the end of the tire slash fuel window. Lenny taking it easy around that corner that time, just easing back to the gas. We haven't seen anybody hit pit road. It looks like Ryan Newman's in the pits, but I don't know if that was scheduled or not. He could have been down there for a little bit. Race within 10.5 to 11 seconds. So again, slowly closing the gap. Lenny's starting to back up his corners a little bit more. He has to, though, to keep the car from spinning out. Now he goes a little wide. Kind of forced himself to downshift to second that time. Kept it on the pavement, that excess pavement. He exited the carousel there, and that helped him out quite a bit. Almost to where he wants to be. 21 or 22 laps to go. Lenny's just got to push it for a couple more laps. Both the front tires very worn. 17% on that left front tire, the right front. Oh, we got a crash. Bobby Carter and Cole Custer have gotten together, bringing out our second caution of the race right in front of Blaney. They were parked. And that will bring out the second caution with that multi-car accident. And we'll see the last of the pit stops now under yellow, it looks like. And we will go green with just 20 laps to go. So a 20-lap shootout. This will bunch the field back together again. Blaney's led every lap to this point today. We could see history on the channel if we can lead every lap in a cup race. And Blaney's crew wins him the race off pit road, so keeping him with the most laps led up to this point. Here we go, green flag back in the air, 20 laps to go at Sonoma. Didn't shift the first gear very well, but he still beats Almirola into the carousel. But keep an eye on Priest. Almirola's crew beat Priest's team off of pit road again. But how about Logano trying to go for third place? The field bunched up. It is a new race once again. Almirola has raced Blaney straight up today, nice and clean. When does the desperation kick in? And Logano has moved up to third. He has cleared Ryan Priest for position. Kurt Busch now going for fourth on Priest. It's kind of what Blaney wants to see. He knows that 37 car is fast. And will we get another caution before the end of the race today? We're going to alternate through the different camera angles one final time once we get to the start-finish line. Stand by as well when we receive 19 laps to go. That's probably the best restart Blaney's had today, despite that little hiccup. Going from first to second gear right about the start-finish line when they were trying to get up to speed. Nice to have the 4 fresh tires back on the car, I'll tell you that much. Seems like it's gripping up really well. It's going back to racing smoothly. Outside of the loud traffic, Blaney has not been in traffic all day. Oh, ran a little hot. On the curving, barely keeps it on the track. Almirola gets alongside of him. Almirola trying to stay right on the back bumper of Blaney, trying to cross him over. Blaney blocks him off. Impressive battle for the lead. Logano's really holding up Ryan Preece. Again, Almirola not trying to go for his first win this year. I mentioned that earlier. I believe he won at Vegas earlier this season. I completely forgot about that. Great corner there for Blaney. Pulls Almirola a little bit. So Almirola does have a win this season. So does Blaney. Ryan Preece would be a huge upset winner if he can pull this one off. A little wide, and that time he kind of goes off course, and Almirola will take the lead. We saw this twice earlier today. Blaney was able to get him back as he tries to outbrake him into the exit of the carousel, and he gets right back. Joey Logano is less than 2 seconds off the lead. Blaney beats him back to the gas and the hairpin. He's in all the curbing. No sense of saving tires now, and for Blaney's sake, they won't be extremely worn the rest of the race with only having a 20-lap shootout. Well, Almirola got through that corner a lot better than Blaney did. Blaney with that protective line on the bottom. He's going to make Almirola try to pass him high. Almirola's there. There's contact. And Blaney holds on. Look at this, the top 4 within a second and a half of the lead all of a sudden. Almirola again trying to look for that pass for the lead, and on the outside he blows by Blaney. Blaney still led them all. What a battle for the lead. Big slide. Blaney get back around him here. He's really good through the exit of the carousel. He tries to outshift him. Looking low, trying to get around him clean. And they're side by side. And again he's clear. Into the braking zone, into the hairpin. And Logano is right there for the taking. Don't count Kurt Busch out in 5th place either. On 2 wheels after the hop off that curb. There could have very well been adjustments from the 10 car under that final pit stop of the race. Blaney beats him back to the gas. They all kind of checked up behind him, trying to anticipate where exactly everyone's going. 16 laps to go. Almirola looking high again. He's still there. Ryan Preece did get around Logano a couple corners ago for third. I mean, any one of these top 5 can win this race. At this point, oh, Almirola goes a little wide. Almost allowed the 37 to get under him. That allows Blaney to pull away a little bit. Blaney a little wide in the hairpin now. Beats him back to the gas. Preece desperately trying to get around the 10 of Almirola. Will these guys catch lap traffic before the end of the race as well? I think that's possible if we do stay green to the end, that is. Still 15 laps to go. Blaney's gotten past, what, about 4 or 5 times today, but every time he has been able to get back around that car within a couple corners and has led every lap still, despite it being a closely contested battle throughout. That was a big hop off the curb. He really had to check up that time. Able to beat him back to the gas still. Not by much. I mean, if he's behind one of these cars for more than a lap, in traffic, giving somebody clean air, that is going to be where it's going to be a lot tougher for Blaney to get that lead back. Ever since Logano fell back to 4th, he's lost a little bit of ground, and things have kind of thinned out a lot more between Almirola and Blaney, and Kurt Busch has kind of lost the pack as well. It is still a 3-car race, and Logano's still within distance, still less than 3 seconds back, and even Kurt Busch, I guess, 4 seconds back, still has a chance to get back up there. We still have a decent amount of laps left, and again, we don't know how these guys are going to get through lap traffic yet. If we stay green to the end, and who knows, we could get another restart before the end of the race also. Something Preece has not been able to do on any restart, whether it was after a stage break or a caution for incident, which we've only had 2 of those, again, both in the final stage. That is restart on the front row. He's had to restart in 3rd place, 3rd or 4th place every time. If he could just restart on the front row if we get another restart, maybe he can outbreak Blaney in those first couple corners and get on by him like we almost saw with Newman at the very start of the race. Almirola starting to fade. He's now 2.5 seconds off the lead. Priest needs to get around him fast. He's going to want any sort of a shot to try and run down the 12 of Blaney himself. One other time we raced here. Oh, Blaney went a little wide. That would have been a good opportunity for the both of them to catch back up again. They were able to gain a little bit of time. Maybe a half a second. It's better than nothing. It bounced off the curb. That kind of helped the 12 turn that time, though. Kurt Busch 6 seconds off the lead. Logano 4 seconds off the lead. Both cars, again, Kurt Busch in 5th, Logano in 4th. Still a race between the top 3. We've probably seen Blaney struggle in lap traffic the most here in stage 3. Before the caution. What will it be after the caution? 12 to go. And although Blaney has led every lap, it doesn't matter if you don't lead the last lap of the race. He can lead all but one. That most defining lap might be enough to kind of cost somebody like Blaney a chance at greatness today. Tries to go for that 6th win of the season, a max points day as well, winning the first 2 stages, of course. Along with all those laps led. We've seen that in an Xfinity Series race on the channel on NASCAR Heat 4. We led every lap at Watkins Glen in the Xfinity Series. We have not done that on Heat 5. And again, I have never done that in the Cup Series in a full race before. So we could see history here today. Xfinity race a lot shorter as well. $11 to go. Priest seems like he's being a little patient. I feel like he's had opportunities to get around the 10. It could just be showing how hard it is to pass. I mean, Priest has to get around him. Blaney's about to catch his first lap car on this run of Matt Kenseth on the 42. Probably only a couple corners away from doing so. Blaney goes wide again. Seems to be one of his better corners of the track, but he's missed it a few times in this final stage alone. He got back on really quick that time. Almirola only closed in a couple tenths of a second. Blaney right in line behind Kenseth. Try to get around him here through the S's. Got around him cleanly. Well done. We'll see if Ryan Priest might be able to use Matt Kenseth as a pick to get by Almirola. That's possible. That could be his best chance to get around him. And he better do it quick. We got more lap traffic coming. 10 laps to go this time by. Blaney out to about a 4-second lead. Huge line of lap traffic coming as well. He just got by Nemechek. Got about 4 more cars. Probably less than a half a lap in front of him, and it starts with Justin Haley, who went for a spin earlier. Going to be able to outbrake Justin Haley there. Another pack of 4 cars, not too far ahead of him. Oh, Bobby Carter got in the wall. Blaney checked up to get around it on the outside there. Carter gives him room to race. And he's trying to hustle around Corey LaJoie now. Bounce off the curb by Custer. LaJoie trying to sneak right back underneath him. Blaney on the curbing. Working his way around Custer. On the inside this corner, he'll be on the outside to get around to Benedetto. And Matty D broke a little bit early into that corner. And that was allowing Blaney to get by him with ease. Blaney starting to widen that gap out in the lap traffic. 5-second lead over Ryan Preece. Who, by the way, did get around Almirola within the last half a lap. But it might have taken him a little too long to get around Almirola. Preece maybe hoping for a caution. How about Ricky Stenhouse now into the top 5? He was running there early. He qualified in the top 5, but kind of faltered throughout the course of the race. He did get stage points. Stage 1 he finished 6th, finished 10th in stage 2, but he is back up into 5th place here late. Lap traffic may be paying off dividends for him, and now he just got passed by Denny Hamlin, who we haven't seen in the top 5 really since the start of the race. Remember, he ran top 3 there for a little bit. And he's got a 7.5-second lead. Tries to get around his teammate. Did get back around. Oh, Preece might have had a spin or something. Ryan Preece was in second. He is in second no longer. Almirola's in second. Preece is nowhere to be found in the top 5. Logano's back to 3rd. Kurt Busch 4th and Denny Hamlin 5th. So something has happened to the 2nd place driver, Ryan Preece. And now a 10-second lead back to Almirola. And a little bit of pressure is now off for the 12 team. As long as they stay green. For that, he's got to get back to the white flag. We'll have just 6 laps to go this time by. Stick with this normal camera for the rest of the race. Actually, 7 laps to go, sorry. Not 6, 7 laps left. Blaney probably wishes it was 6, knowing he's just got to get to the white flag. The next flag will end the race. Christopher Bell's faded back slowly throughout the course. He's back to 30th. A few laps down. Probably 3 or 4 to be exact. And Joey Logano now has moved up to 2nd. Maybe it could be a 1-2 finish for Penske. Despite Keselowski, affiliated driver to Benedetto, not having a good day. Logano been in the top 5 for most of the second half of the race, and Blaney obviously has led every lap up to this point. Logano and Almirola continue to go at it for 2nd, fighting to see if one of those 2 drivers can be on the front row on a restart. if we do get that late race caution as well for every point they can get, obviously, as well. That's a pretty good story there, Michael. I almost got the chance to meet Austin Dillon and Richard Childress in person when I went to Kentucky a couple seasons ago, 2018. I went golfing with a buddy of mine. We went down there, one-day show. We were going to go down. We were going to play 9 holes of golf at this golf course, maybe 10 minutes from the racetrack. We were going to go back to the track a couple hours before the race started. So it was a night race, obviously, so that's why we were able to do that. And got there, and I guess the lady in the clubhouse was talking about how Austin Dillon and Richard Childress were there golfing, like, at the time. And I was like, oh, that's, you know, pretty cool, because she saw I was wearing my race gear and stuff, and she asked if we were going to the race, and she's like, yeah, they came in a couple hours ago. She's like, they might still be out there right now. And I guess I ended up catching up with this next group, or I should say the group caught up with. No, yeah. I was waiting on the tee box. I think there might have been a group ahead of us or something. And we had to play the back 9. And these people that came off the front 9 were talking about how they were playing with Austin Dillon and Richard Childress. They're like, yeah, it was the craziest thing. And I was like, oh, are you kidding me? Like, I didn't even get to see it. I was kind of jealous. But they were racing fans too, so they were kind of made their day. They were like, yeah, we caught up to them. And they asked if we wanted to play in with them the last 2 holes, because I guess there was a group ahead of them too. They were like backed up that day, and he was like, he was talking about how nervous he was when he was like, oh, you want to play in with us? And he was like, oh yeah, hell yeah. And it was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I wish man, we just would have, I mean, I don't know how we could have seen them. The only thing I could think of is like when they were returning their cart at the end of the round. That's the only like reasonable way I could have seen them. Otherwise, we would have had to get there hours and hours early, which driving from 3.5 hours is kind of hard to like dictate exactly when we're gonna get there with stops and stuff. But yeah, that was the closest I've been to meeting a driver outside the racetrack. Well, really in person in general. I guess I haven't really had a pit pass or anything like that before for a NASCAR race. Sage Castillo, welcome to the stream. Going a little wide there. It's back by Michael McDowell. Blaney's led every lap to this point in the race. We'll have 4 to go this time by. And he's opened out to about an 18-second lead over Eric Almirola. Kurt Busch has jumped up to 3rd recently, ahead of Logano and Hamlin still camping out in the top 5. Ryan Preece, major story here, was running in 2nd, about 5 to 6 seconds off the lead from Blaney. And he had an issue a few laps ago. He has dropped outside the top 5. Heavy damage to the front of the car. You could see him in pit road off the exit of that sharp right-handed U-turn. And you can see Ryan Preece with a heavily damaged car in the front of that car. And he is in the pits currently and likely out of the race. That's such a tough break for a guy who has finished 2nd in each of the first 2 stages today. It was the biggest threat perhaps to Ryan Blaney. Blaney just trying to hang on, trying to conquer a feat I've never done before, and that is lead every lap in a full Cup Series race. Again, we did it at Watkins Glen in the Xfinity Series on NASCAR Heat 4. Not really come close on Heat 5 in any race. I guess the Truck Series we led like all but 4 laps at the beginning of a race at Atlanta on the current season. Oh man, Blaney way wide into the hairpin, but he's got a lot of time to give up. So we could see history on the channel today. Blaney's just hoping they get to the scheduled distance of this one. And we don't have overtime, because if we got a caution, we wouldn't run past that scheduled limit. TTV Redskins, welcome to the stream. We'll go to Chicagoland tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Will be the start time for that one for NASCAR Heat 5 and for the Cup Series. So that should be a lot of fun. One of the better mile and a halves. Of course, granted, they did not race there at all either on the 2020 schedule, unfortunately, and nor they will be racing there in 2021, unfortunately, as well. But we will be at Chicagoland for the Cup Series again tomorrow. Ryan Blaney trying to seal the deal here. Now remember, there was an overtime finish in our Chase for 8 season with Jimmy Johnson, the only other time we have raced at Sonoma on NASCAR Heat 5 in any series. That was the only time. We went to overtime. We had a photo finish in which we won that race. Different circumstance today. We've led every lap. Despite the fact we have had some battles throughout, it's been a pretty calm last 10 laps. Blaney's pulled away in the lap traffic. Out to one of his bigger leads of the race today, and this is a walk in the park if it stays green. We still got a long ways to go to get to the white flag. Couple minutes yet. David Reagan crossing him back over there for the moment. Tries to put Reagan another lap down. Reagan trying to cross him over again, not going to get there. 2 laps to go here at Sonoma. Can they get to the white flag, or will we get our 3rd caution of the race? Blaney just trying to make it a clean lap for himself. Power slide in there. He's driving it hard, though. He wants to get to the white flag as soon as he can. He's taking care of the tires in this final run really well also. Might catch Quinn Houff by the end of the lap still. Almirola still in 2nd. Kurt Busch, though, still in 3rd. Really pulled away. Trey, welcome to the stream. Oh, man, you got tested positive for good. Well, I wish you good luck. Hopefully you're not really sick. Oh, contact there. Blaney got in the back of Quinn Houff. That's going to check him up here at the top of the pin about halfway through the lap. Wants to get to the white flag as soon as he can. He's got to be patient, though. He can't keep running in the back of Houff. Houff luckily was able to keep the car steady there. Doesn't want to turn Houff around. Try to outbrake him. Couple corners to get to the white flag now. And get around Houff. Will he get there? Yes, he will. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go at Sonoma for Ryan Blaney. A feat that I did not think was possible at any track in any game, but we have the potential to lead every lap as we have about a half a lap now to go. What a performance. Sweeping the stages in the race, of course, along with it. Max points day. Blaney came in only 17 points ahead of the guy running 5th in this race right now, Denny Hamlin. Keselowski not having a good day, 3rd in points coming in. He was 28 back of the lead. So it is a close regular season points battle for those extra 15 playoff points, but Blaney has put up one of the better performances that we have seen in recent NASCAR history, especially again with this channel. This is going to be a feat that I don't think I'll ever conquer again. Unbelievable. It's 2 more turns. What a race. What a day. History in wine country. Ryan Blaney wins at Sonoma. Unbelievable. What a win. What a win. Unbelievable performance from the 12 of Ryan Blaney. What a win. That is unbelievable. Leading every lap of the race. Something I did not think we would ever see in a cup race on the channel with these full race live streams. But again, that is unbelievable. Take a look at the finishing results here today. Ryan Blaney with the win, and both stages going along with that. 7 playoff points and adding to the regular season total, of course, of the max points day to try and slowly pull ahead from Hamlin. Hamlin had a good day. He had stage points in both stages, finished top 5. So Blaney didn't gain a whole lot of points on him. So that is a huge performance for the 12 team to step up. Just 10 races until the playoffs. And it is still a narrow points battle right now, but the 6th win of the year for Blaney nonetheless. Eric Almirola finishes 2nd. He was in the top 3 basically all day. Kurt Busch finishes 3rd, snuck in there late with the top 3. Great run for him. Logano 4th. He was in the top 5 basically all day. Hamlin snuck in there 5th at the end. Chase Elliott was in the top 10 all day as well, finished 6th. Stenhouse was quietly in the top 10 all day, finished 7th. Chris Buescher was a lap down at the end of stage 2, got the free pass, fought his way back up to 8th. Great run for him. Kyle Busch, quiet day, but top 10 finish, finishes 9th. And BJ McLeod sneaks in with the top 10 at the end of the day in 10th. Just 13 drivers finished on the lead lap here in this one. Joey Gase with a great run in 14th nonetheless as well. First car 1 lap down. The only 2 DNFs, 3 rather, that we saw in this race was Brendan Gaughan, Ryan Newman, who qualified 2nd. Of course, Blaney also started on the pole for this race. And Ryan Newman rather, wrecked out a little past the halfway point, unfortunately. And for Ryan Preece, unfortunate too, finished 2nd in each of the first 2 stages, was the closest threat to Blaney. He was battling him hard there for most of the day. Unfortunately, he DNF'd, giving Blaney a walk in the park final 10 laps of the race. Otherwise, who knows what could have happened there. He was about 5 to 6 seconds behind him at the time, but still, he was right there for the taking pretty much all day. What a run. What a run. Again, doing the points myself, so I guess you don't have to look at that necessarily. And there we go. Victory lane once more. Fastest lap of the day was also by Blaney, a 130.474. Look at that. 110 of the 110 laps led today. That's what I wanted to see right at the end. That is awesome. That is awesome. Again, Newman did not start first. There was a issue with the game glitching out on us on the opening lap that we had to restart the race. So when I went through quick qualifying, I actually qualified 2nd. But I'm going to say we qualified on the pole because we qualified on the pole the first time. And we still led every lap. So there we go. So from the pole, leading every lap, I don't think we can get any more dominant than that. That is unbelievable. It will be at Chicagoland for the NASCAR Cup Series, so 400 miler there. Should be a lot of fun. Around one of the best 1.5 mile racetracks that NASCAR has to offer. That is going to be it for this one. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the race commentary of the video in general. And remember, I do these as a full race. I do this as a full race live stream with a realistic broadcast because I'm starting my broadcasting career. Have started it with this YouTube channel. First foot in the door. So again, help me out a ton, as you guys have a ton up to this point already by simply just subscribing. It helps me out. Trying to get the name recognition so one day I can hopefully broadcast real NASCAR races. Again, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night and enjoy. What a race. History on the channel today. Every lap led in a cup race nonetheless. Unbelievable. Thanks. I'll see you.